Good morning. Good morning. Please be seated. Honored guests, members of our Board of Trustees, members of our Board of Overseers, students, faculty, family members, friends of Stetson University College of Law, welcome to our 110th Spring Commencement Exercises. I'm Chris Petruskevich. I'm Dean of the Stetson University College of Law, and today is a wonderful day to celebrate the graduates of the class of 2015 and all they've accomplished. So let's begin by giving them a round of applause. I would also like to welcome and recognize our active duty military and veterans in our graduating class. Please stand so we can acknowledge your service to our country. And active duty military personnel and veterans from our faculty and in our audience, please stand so we can recognize you. Before we begin, let me take a moment to introduce those on stage here with me. The President of Stetson University's Dr. Wendy Libby. The Provost and Executive Vice President for Academic Affairs of Stetson University, Dr. Elizabeth Paul. Executive Vice President and Chief Financial Officer, Robert Huth. Chair of the Board of Trustees and a 1978 graduate of Stetson University and a 1981 graduate of Stetson University College of Law, Louis Prats. Chair of the Board of Overseers and a 1980 graduate of the Stetson University College of Law, Joshua Magidson. Associate Dean for Academic Affairs, Professor of Law, and Director of our Veterans Law Institute, Michael Allen. Associate Dean for Administration and Business Affairs and Professor of Law, Teresa Radwin. Associate Dean for Faculty and Professor of Law, Susan Roselle. Director of Student Life, Ms. Tammy Bryant. And the Registrar of the College of Law, Ms. Felicia McCaster. And finally, our commencement speaker, former Chief Counsel to the U.S. Senate, Chief of Staff to Vice President Gore, Chief of Staff to Vice President Biden, and former White House Ebola Response Coordinator, Mr. Ronald Klain. Stetson University is more than a law school, but a community dedicated to excellence. Graduates, this is a pivotal moment in your career. You have earned a JD from the Stetson University College of Law, a law school that has a national reputation for excellence. Your success at Stetson has prepared you to embark on an incredible journey, not only as lawyers, but leaders in our communities and in our country. I invite President Libby to offer greetings, followed by Louis Prats as Chair of the University Board of Trustees, followed by Joshua Magidson, Chair of the Board of Overseers, and Mitchell Shermer, President of the Calvin Kunzel Student Bar Association.
Thank you, Dean Petruskevich, and welcome and congratulations, class of 2015. You have made it to the end of a remarkable journey, and today you will join our Stetson Alumni Network. You officially become alums, part of an enduring community, kind of a Stetson in the cloud once you leave campus. A downloadable resource at your fingertips, whether you're looking for career advice or support, or just to connect with Hatters in cities across the world. At the core of our values at Stetson University is this notion of personal and social responsibility. Let me take a few moments to mention 5 things related to that. First, responsibility is always about strengthening your community. working towards something larger than yourself, doing your part, which in the end benefits the whole. So jump in with both feet, roll up your sleeves, work with your neighbors, and build something you will be proud of. It's not very hard to tell that to a Stetson University Law commencement class, because you've already given over 25,000 pro bono hours, and so you come completely ready and trademarked as being a group that believes in your community. This is your world. We're all neighbors. We all breathe the same oxygen. We share the same space. Let's just make all the corners of our world a little bit better. Second, responsibility is about action, about making things happen. Moving ahead full throttle. Go ahead till it hurts. And don't let important things derail you or send you reeling. Make sure your compass is sure and true, and then charge forth. Third, personal and social responsibility is about being strategic and looking up. For two reasons, really. Number one is you should always take the long view, with a goal of being 2 steps ahead of everyone else. And two, look up because you ought to enjoy the scenery. And aren't we lucky at the scenery here in this glorious College of Law? Remember why you were put on this path of life. Remember why you chose this path of life. Life isn't always linear, and so enjoy the ride. Life can be beautiful. 4, let's think about passion. Our sense of responsibility increases with our passion. We're most attentive to that which we care about. You decided to come to the Stetson University College of Law. You chose law school because of your passion. So what I wish for you today is to follow that passion, one that channels your strengths and fuels your days, a passion that will unite you with others. But in doing so, remember to never lose perspective. Keep an open mind. There is more than one way in this world. It's not just your path, it's others too. Walk with them and learn to understand people who are not like you. Lastly, personal and social responsibility is about professionalism. And what better place could you be than the Stetson College of Law to learn to be outstanding professionals? The whole point of this is to rise up and to evolve, to get to a better place as individuals in a society. Responsibility is about patience and time and doing what you say you will do. So take a breath, embrace what is both certain and uncertain. You're a Hatter after all, and these truths you have experienced. You will draw upon them for the rest of your life. Remember that the Stetson Network is here for you for years to come. Come back to Stetson, connect with a student, extend a hand when they're looking for help. And as I said at yesterday's Honors and Awards banquet, remember there are Stetson alumni behind you and in front of you. Reach out to them in your path towards significance. And may personal and social responsibility light your path to being true citizens of this world. Oh, and by the way, wear green on Fridays. We like to, now today's Saturday, I have green earrings on, but I would like to, and a green outfit, but I'd like to encourage you to wear a green tie or green emeralds perhaps, or paint your toenails green, or dye your underwear green. It's just a way of remembering you're part of the Stetson community. And of course, forget the underwear part. If you're wearing something on the outside that is green, it will remind everyone around you you are a Stetson alum. So may Hatter accomplishments across the years both inspire and motivate you. Take your place in history. Congratulations, class of 2015, and Godspeed.
Good morning.
Good morning.
You know, after last night's weather, I thought we would need umbrellas this morning, but boy, was I wrong. Well, we need a suntan lotion. What a perfect day it is to celebrate the conclusion of your studies and the start of what I know will be an extraordinary career here at Stetson. My name is Lou Prats, and I'm privileged to chair the Stetson University Board of Trustees and grateful for the opportunity to deliver a brief message of congratulations on the board's behalf. We hope you understand that as a graduate of this university, you join a community of alumni that is more than 100 years old, one that is large and very well established, and that stretches well beyond the state of Florida. There are a lot of Stetson lawyers out there, and very shortly you will be welcomed into their ranks. Yesterday at the award ceremony, I saw among you a genuine outpouring of support and enthusiasm, as many of you were recognized for your outstanding achievements. I can't tell you how heartening it was to see that. I hope you hold on to that. Collegiality, civility, and mutual respect should be the bedrock on which you build your careers and should always be the hallmarks of your practice. Stay connected to your Stetson classmates and reach out to your new Stetson colleagues at the bar. They're a ready-made network from which you can learn a great deal. They're a ready-made group of mentors for you. Also, please remember that there will be those who follow you, and that one of the biggest rewards you can receive as you progress through your career is the joy of paying forward that which you learn along the way. Remember also that as you're about to enter a profession that will bring you great privilege and reward, but with that privilege comes great responsibility. Our profession is often maligned in the media and in popular culture. There are a lot of lawyer jokes out there. Some are pretty funny, and it's a good thing not to take yourselves too seriously. But don't you believe, not even for a moment, that ours is anything but a great and noble profession. You alone, among your fellow citizens, will have the privilege of representing others at the bar. In a very real way, you will administer the greatest system of justice ever devised by man. That is no hyperbole. That is just the truth. Some of you may have heard of Reese Smith. Reese was an icon in the profession, a legendary trial lawyer, a former president of the American Bar Association, a philanthropist, a prolific lecturer, and a professor here at Stetson. No one understood the majesty of the law better than Reese, and no one could deliver the message of the burden we carry as lawyers than he could. So I will close with one of my favorite passages from his many speeches. As lawyers, we must remember always that we are members of an honorable, independent profession committed to the unselfish service of others. Above all, we serve both to secure, through ordered government, the collective interest of society and to protect individual interests from the excesses of government. Above all else, we serve to assure freedom, peace, and opportunity. Regardless of national affiliation, we lawyers speak a common language in the discharge of these basic responsibilities. We speak the language of freedom. Congratulations and best wishes to each of you, and don't ever stop speaking the language of freedom.
Good morning. My name's Josh Magidson, and on behalf of the Board of Overseers here at the Stetson University College of Law, we bring you greetings and we welcome you to this beautiful campus and this wonderful courtyard. I graduated here in 1980 in this courtyard, and I love this place. I want to congratulate on behalf of the Board of Overseers our graduates, their family, their friends, and their supporters. I know you've all worked very hard, all of you, for the last 3 or 4 years. I remember after graduation, there's a next step, that taking of the bar exam that has to come up. So there was stress and anxiety throughout law school, and then after graduation, more stress and anxiety. So what I urge all of you today is to stop, appreciate this moment and the accomplishments of these graduates, and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Good morning. President Libby, Dean Petroskevich, members of the Stetson University Board of Trustees, members of the Stetson University College of Law Board of Overseers, faculty, staff, distinguished guests, family, friends, and finally, the Stetson University College of Law class of 2015. My name is Mitchell Shermer, and it has been my honor and pleasure to serve as your Student Bar Association president this past year. 3 years ago in August, my classmates and I embarked on a journey that would forever change us as people. The journey would change the very fabric of our being. It would push us to our limit and often to the breaking point. There were the long nights spent at the library writing our memos, the hours consumed group chatting and Facebook messaging while attempting to study for final exams, the countless weeks spent preparing for final trials. As I look around at my classmates, I cannot help but be inspired by the hundreds of stories and experiences that are sitting to my right today. Stories of success, perseverance, and motivation that will serve as strength to draw on during what will be long and fruitful careers. As we sit here today, prepared to walk across the stage and begin the next phase of our lives, may we never forget that as Stetson lawyers, we have certain commitments, responsibilities and duties that go beyond those expectations mandated by the rules of our profession. First, may we never forget our commitment to our clients. May we always represent them zealously and always put their best interests forward. May we never forget our commitment to our communities. May we give back to our communities through pro bono, service on public and private boards, and through public service. Finally, may we never forget our commitment to each other. Though we began our law school careers as hundreds of different stories, today we graduate as one unit. May we always remember this group of exceptional individuals here today, and remember that this group is our forever network. In a profession where relationships mean so much, it is such a gift to be able to have a group of peers that will always serve as a lifeline. This idea of professionalism, it doesn't stop with our classmates. Strong wind. This idea of professionalism doesn't stop with our classmates and fellow Stetson alums. No, this commitment goes beyond that. And we have to maintain professional relationships with even our adversaries, because that furthers what it means to be a Stetson lawyer. To our family and friends, thank you for supporting us in this wild ride that we call law school, and you'll get plenty of free legal advice as a token of our appreciation. To our professors and staff at Stetson, thank you for inspiring us. To my fellow graduates, may we always remember the nights out, the early mornings in the library, the times well spent, and may we look forward to many great times ahead. Congratulations, class of 2015. Now let's go take that bar exam.
Thank you for a very thoughtful and wonderful message. President Libby, on the recommendation of the Stetson University College of Law and with the approval of the Board of Trustees of Stetson University, I present Mr. Ronald A. Klain to receive the honorary degree of Doctors of Laws.
Ronald A. Klain, you have distinguished yourself in the public and private sectors as a government leader and attorney. You are the president of Case Holdings and general counsel of Revolution, LLC, a Washington, D.C. investment firm specializing in consumer technology businesses. You were recently appointed by President Barack Obama to serve as the White House Ebola Response Coordinator to coordinate the United States response to the Ebola virus, effectively mobilizing the federal government to avert a potential public health crisis. You earned your bachelor's degree with highest honors from Georgetown University and your law degree from Harvard Law School, magna cum laude, excuse me. You were a law clerk for United States Supreme Court Justice Byron White for 2 years before becoming chief counsel to the United States Senate Committee on the Judiciary. You served as a congressional legislative director, staff director of the Senate Democratic Leadership Committee, associate counsel and assistant to President Bill Clinton, and chief of staff to United States Attorney General Janet Reno, Vice President Al Gore, and Vice President Joe Biden. As general counsel for the Gore Recount Committee in 2000, you were recognized as one of the National Law Journal's Lawyers of the Year, and were portrayed by Academy Award winner Kevin Spacey in the HBO film Recount, something which I know you're very proud of.
Absolutely.
You have continually given back to your community and the profession as a board member for Harvard Law School, the American Constitution Society, the American Progress Action Fund, and the Vice President's Resident Foundation. In light of your many achievements, and under the authority vested in me by the Stetson University Board of Trustees, I proudly present you with an honorary degree of Doctor of Laws.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thank you, President Libby, and thank you, Dean Petroskevich, for your warm welcome. Before I start, looking out here and seeing this wonderful gathering of friends and family, I'd like to ask the class of 2015 to join me in a round of applause for all the people who are here today who supported you getting to this landmark and who made this all possible, your friends, your family. It's great to be here today at Florida's first law school. It's an honor to take part in the ceremony and to welcome the class of 2015 into our noble profession. Becoming an honorary graduate of Stetson today is a special privilege I will always treasure, not only because of the school's long history and traditions, but even more because of what Stetson is doing today at such a critical time in the legal profession and a difficult time in the legal academy. Stetson's commitment to community service is evidenced by 30,000 pro bono hours, its national #2 ranking in legal writing education, and of course, its national #1 ranking in trial advocacy, including its recent win in the AAJ Advocacy Championship, speak to what Stetson's leadership, its faculty, and most of all, its students are doing. So it's a great honor to be part of that. It's also great to be back in the state of Florida. As President Libby's mentioned, I spent 36 days here in November and December of 2000 as General Counsel for Vice President Gore during the post-election recount. I learned many important lessons at that time, and I'll talk about some of them more broadly in a minute. But I want to start with one lesson that's particularly stuck with me, and it's a good lesson for newly minted lawyers because it's about the very first rule of law practice. Near the end of the recount, the Democratic and the Republican legal teams got into a fight about how to publicly release the hour-by-hour results from a statewide hand recount of votes that was underway. You younger people have to understand that this was all happening in the year 2000 BT, before Twitter. And so official releases of information were important. The Republican lawyers thought that my Democratic team had breached the protocols for releasing this information, and they asked a trial court judge in Leon County to hold me in contempt of court. Well, I was sure I had done nothing wrong and continued to work away on a brief that was due. A trial court judge in Leon County did convene a formal contempt proceeding, and I have to admit that the prospect of going to jail in Leon County did rattle around in my head. Worse still, given the high stakes of the presidential recount, the Ron Klain contempt proceeding was broadcast live on national cable television. So my phone began to ring with calls that were meant to reassure me, I think. First, my mother called in tears. Second, Vice President Gore called, and he told me that his whole family was watching the proceeding on TV at the Vice President's residence, except for his wife, Tipper, who was in the kitchen baking me a cake with a file in it. Finally, though, the call that I most dreaded came. It was from my boss at my law firm, Warren Christopher, the former U.S. Secretary of State and chair of the very buttoned-down law firm where I was a partner. Secretary Christopher was a fastidious man, known for his sense of propriety, and I was pretty sure that in the 120-year history of my law firm, no partner had ever been jailed in Leon County. And I was even more certain that Secretary Christopher did not want me to become the first. So when I picked up the phone, I heard his stern, flat voice. "Ron," he said, "it sounds like you've gotten yourself in some trouble down there." Well, I began to explain, and he cut me off. "Ron, it appears that you have forgotten the very first rule of law practice. I racked my brain. It sounded very bad. How could I forget the first rule of law practice? What was the first rule of law practice? While my mind was searching for this answer, Secretary Christopher explained, Ron, the first rule of law practice is this. If you're working on a hard case and someone is going to go to jail, make sure it's the client and not the lawyer. So I learned some valuable lessons here as a lawyer in Florida, and that leads to my main subject today. Class of 2015, during your time at Stetson, when you haven't been studying at O'Malley's, this incredible faculty has taught you how to be winners in the legal profession. You've learned how to win at trial and how to win on appeal, how to win in the courtroom, in the civic arena, in the community. You've learned how to win at the negotiating table, and even how to make both sides a winner there with win-win solutions. That's a lot of winning. So now I want to try, in the final 10 minutes of your legal education, to offer some pointers on a very different aspect of our profession, and perhaps even a more important one, how to lose. Losing is a subject about which I have a great deal of expertise. As a political advisor, I've worked on losing congressional campaigns, losing Senate campaigns, losing presidential campaigns. As President Obama's chief debate preparation advisor, I was in charge of getting him ready for his debate in Denver in 2012, which was the worst defeat suffered by any incumbent president in a debate in history. As a lawyer, I've lost more cases than I can count, including 2 notable unanimous defeats in 2 different state Supreme Courts. And of course, since the year 2000 and Bush v. Gore, I've practiced law knowing that no matter whatever else I do in my career, no matter whatever else happens, I will go to my grave having lost the most important case I've ever worked on. So you see, you have before you today the nation's leading, perhaps the nation's #1 expert on losing. Maybe that's why I was asked to speak. Because I think there's nothing we spend less time preparing you for, but will turn out to be more important in your careers than learning how to deal with defeat. And so I want to offer 5 brief observations about losing to close this gap in your education as you head out into our profession. First, show me a lawyer who has never lost an important case, and I will show you a lawyer who has never lived up to his or her potential. Lawyers who guard their won-loss records preciously are like powerhouse college football teams that schedule cupcake games in the fall to pad their records. They're fooling no one and proving nothing. You have worked too hard and come too far to play it safe now. Your family, your friends, your loved ones, you have invested too much in getting you here for you not to make the most of your opportunities. Take the hard cases. Take on the losing causes. Take on the risky representations. Lose badly. It's the only way to chase the fear of defeat from your hearts and open your minds to the unlimited possibilities that law practice provides to make a difference in our society. Second, it is defeat, not victory, that is the most insightful teacher of lawyers in practice. In my 30 years in practice in politics, I've learned virtually nothing from winning and virtually everything from my defeats. Winning is a sloppy teacher that gives you a false sense of comfort in your own instincts. Winning lets you believe that you won because you are naturally talented, or because you wore that lucky tie that your mom gave you, or because 2 hours of preparation really were enough. But defeat makes you ask the hard questions and focus on what you can do better next time. I didn't learn about how important ballot design and voter protection was from my work in the winning 1992 Clinton campaign. I learned that from our debacle in 2000. And as White House Ebola response coordinator, I didn't learn much from the patients we saved in West Africa or the hospitals that were ready to treat patients in the United States. I learned from the mistakes we made and the people that were lost along the way. Winning may be wonderful for the ego in the short run, but losing offers lessons that will last a lifetime. Third, as lawyers in particular, we know that progress in the law comes from cases that are lost, not cases that are won. Failed efforts to challenge established precedents are what enable the law to progress towards reform and justice. It's the lawyers who lost in Plessy versus Ferguson, Berea College versus Kentucky, or Gunglum versus Rice, who laid the groundwork for the transformational legal victory by the NAACP Legal Defense Fund in Brown versus the Board of Education. It's my former professor and mentor Larry Tribe, whose defeat in Bowers versus Hardwork led the way for Lawrence versus Texas. Today's losing argument is tomorrow's path-breaking precedent. So the only way the law can progress is by someone making that losing argument without fear or hesitation. You should be that someone. Fourth, it's our willingness as lawyers to accept defeat under the rule of law that shows our commitment to the rule of law. The demonstration of a nation's dedication to the rule of law is not in how those who win legal decisions accept those outcomes. It's proven by how we as lawyers accept defeat to under legal norms and standards. Our commitment to the rule of law isn't evident when the state uses its power and its laws to imprison the guilty. It's displayed when a prosecutor loses a case because she has complied with her legal obligation to turn over exculpatory material to the defense. A government of men can use its power to win any encounter that force can dictate. A government of law shows itself when it and its lawyers accept defeat due to laws that protect the rights of the individual, the underdog, and the powerless. Fifth and finally, on a personal level, over the course of your lives, it is defeat that will be the best sorter of your true and your false friends. As you accumulate successes in law practice and other endeavors, you will find a growing collection of people around you. You can learn a lot about the difference between good, better, and best champagne as you celebrate winning cases. Victory can even teach you what drinks not to mix with the good champagne. But your real friends in life aren't the ones who buy you a drink when you win. They are the friends who buy you dinner when you lose. As you proceed in life, don't dwell on those smiles all around photos on Instagram, but make a mental picture of every time you suffer a searing defeat and study who, in your mind's eye, is in that unhappy photo. Those are the people who really care about you and will matter in your life. In closing, I often think about the most powerful example of grace in defeat I have ever seen. My former boss and client, Al Gore, on the night he conceded the presidency to George W. Bush. In his televised speech, Gore said, quote, "As for the battle that ends tonight, I do believe that no matter how hard the loss, defeat may serve as well as victory to shake the soul and let the glory out." Today, with the suns on your faces and your family and friends around you, with this amazing institution ready to hand you diplomas and celebrate your hard work, Class of 2015, all you can see in front of you is triumph and victory. But don't despair. The day and your careers are still young. There's plenty of time for you to get out there and suffer the horrible defeats and painful losses that are surely ahead, and that will surely make you the exceptional lawyers and people I know you can become. Congratulations.
Well, there are a lot of wonderful reasons to invite Mr. Klain to be our graduation speaker, but being a loser is not one of them, so thank you very much. President Libby, today we recognize the December 2014 graduates and honor the students who are candidates for the May and August 2015 LLM in Elder Law, LLM in International Law, LLM in Advocacy, and the Juris Doctor degree. We anticipate that all candidates listed in the graduation program will meet the requirements for their respective degrees. As such, I ask that you prospectively confer their degrees on them. All graduates, graduation candidates, faculty members, trustees, and overseers, please stand.
Thank you, Dean Petroskevich. By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board of Trustees of Stetson University, pursuant to the charter granted by the state of Florida, I pronounce you graduates of Stetson University and confer upon you all the rights and privileges appertaining thereto. Graduates, please come forward to receive your diplomas.
Fall 2014 Master of Laws and Advocacy graduates: Joseph Cameron Bodiford with honors. Roger J. Dodd with honors. Congratulations. The Spring and Summer 2015 Masters of Laws and Advocacy candidates: Diva Elena O'Brien in absentia. James Edward Reed with honors. Joanne Valois Schafstall. Jesse M. Wiseman. The Fall 2014 Master of Laws in Elder Law graduates: Allison R. Muni. Joseph J. Ranney. The Spring and Summer 2015 Master of Laws in Elder Law candidates: Olin McAdoo Bailey, Jr. with honors. Heather Dolores Barron with honors. Kevin E. Hansen with honors in absentia. Anne Rolett Harris with honors in absentia. Farzad M. Milani. Portia Beth Scott in absentia. The Fall 2014 Master of Laws in International Law graduates: Martha Patricia Rodriguez Casailes. The Spring and Summer 2015 Master of Laws in International Law candidates: Daniel Emil Lindbergh Bang. Guliyat Hajiava. Ahmed Arar Najib Kurais. Javier Ojeda Chenard. Aaron James Pitts. Natalia C. Reina Ferrero with honors. Dana Stannard in absentia. Eric K.S. Thompson in absentia. Amadou Akinola Sene Baglama Wiltshire. And Charlotte Wright with honors. The Fall 2014 Juris Doctorate degree graduates: Thomas B. Adams III, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
Ariana N. Brooks, Certificate of Concentration in International Law.
Jennifer Rose Chasen.
Deontay T. Franklin.
Sean Russell Frazier.
Cassandra K. Fredrickson.
Rebecca Ann Goodall with honors. Isela M. Guzman, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy.
Graham Michael Hadley.
Patrick Joseph Hood. Brian D. Johnson with honors.
Eugenia Johnson.
Brian. Kevin Adam Lonzo with honors. Angelo Michael Martin.
John Stephen McGill. Amanda Ortega with honors. Douglas Parker. Jennifer Perez, JD MBA.
Christopher Thomas Putnam. Michael Owen Robertson.
Candace Amber Rojas.
David Anthony Ruiz with honors.
Peyton Elaine Samardich. Monica Sharma. Jillian Templeton Spangler. The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her father, Bruce Eppel, a 1980 graduate of the College of Law. Genevieve Bridget Vasatka, Certificate of Concentration and Advocacy. Douglas J. Weiland with honors.
The spring and summer 2015 Juris Doctorate degree candidates. Elena Pauline Adding.
Carrie Ann Allen.
Arthur Edmund Alves II with honors.
Danielle Nicole Amico with honors, JD MBA Honors Program.
Travis Alexander Arango.
Ethan Alexander Arthur with honors.
Jeremy David Bailey, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Deborah Ellen London Baker.
Alejandro Barranco Alameda, JD Grotto.
Kyle David Bass, Certificate of Concentration and Advocacy.
John G. Bagan.
Alan Gary Bembry.
Jesse A. Bender with honors.
Seth N. Bennis.
Kyle Birmingham.
Heather Griffiths Blackmon.
Paige Emily Blankenship.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his parents, Martin and Elizabeth Bonin, both graduates of the College of Law. Thomas Martin Bonin.
Patrick Allen Brennan.
Greer Maria Briggs Legs, in absentia.
Justin Robert Bright.
Eric James Brooks, with honors.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her parents, Yardley and Amy Buckman, both 1997 graduates of the College of Law. Allie Rachel Buckman with honors.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his sister, Ashley Bartolucci, a 2011 graduate of the College of Law. Thomas Devery Burgess, Jr.
Jessica Lynn Cahoon. Sorry.
Alexis Ray Campos, with honors. Honors Program, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Donna Alexandra Canova.
Morgan Michelle Cardinal.
Crystal Lee Carrion.
Nicholas Joseph Castellano, II, with honors.
Kyle Stephen Chapin, JD, MBA.
Angela S. Chang.
Louis Elmore Crispin IV.
Oliver Bryce Clark.
Katie Beth Cleveland, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
Hamilton Aurelius Coffey, in absentia.
Jay Cooper.
Alyssa Lynn Corey, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Nicholas S. Costantino.
Carissa Christine Cotto.
Christina J. Cranton.
Ina Francisca Crawford with honors.
Marco Antonio Crespo.
Jason Michael Daly.
Dina Latrell Daniels.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her father, Ronald Dorigo, a 1986 graduate of the College of Law. Kaylee Ann Dorigo with honors, honors program.
Nicole Elizabeth Davis with honors, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
Brian Craig Dion.
Kimberly Lynn Driscoll in absentia.
Caitlin Dunwell.
Christopher G. Dial.
Sonny J. Edwards with honors.
Catherine E. Ellis.
Alexander Louis John Esses, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
Regine Etienne.
Ethan Blackwell Evans.
Stanton A. Fears Jr. with honors program.
Ellen Bunzy Fichtelman.
Jesse Earl Flint with honors.
Shamala Florent.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his father, Will Florent, a 1980 graduate of the College of Law and a member of the Board of Overseers of the College of Law. Chad Christian Florent.
Jacqueline O. Fournier with honors, Certificate of Concentration in Elder Law.
Austin Scott Fowler.
Elisa Marie French with honors.
Nicole Elizabeth Garcia.
Saji Roxana Betaboo.
Brian James Geiger with honors.
Andrew James Geekus with honors.
Jeffrey Lee Jeanette with honors.
Stephanie Gomez.
Jonathan D. Graff with honors.
Kelly Elizabeth Green.
Brian Robert Greenberg.
Andrew Timothy Grogan.
Jeffrey D. Groover with honors program.
Andrew T. Hager.
Austin H. Hale.
Catherine Amanda Hamilton, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy.
Jana Elizabeth Head.
Joshua L. Heller.
Audrey Bush Henneman, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Catherine Renee Henry.
Trent D. Higginbotham.
Yafi Fatima Hilili.
Taylor Elena Hip.
Michelle Hobbs.
David Harlan Houston with honors.
Erin Jeanette Hoyle with honors.
Ashley Nicole Hubble.
Laura Ashton Hughes.
Anthony Glenn Eisen.
Sarah Ashley Joffrey, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Reagan Lee Jaros with honors, J.D. Grotto in absentia.
Chelsea Corrine Johnson, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Gregory James Jolly with honors, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Brittany Nicole Jones.
Scared the heck out of me. Sharon Rose Joseph.
David Michael Calto with honors.
Michael Paul Kaplanis with honors.
Brittany Lynn Kaufman.
Madison Alyssa Marie Keebler with honors.
Brian David Kiesacker with honors.
Connor Kemke.
Brandon Lee Keatron with honors.
Edward Hudson Kirksey.
Cassandra Sue Klein, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy.
Christopher M. Conzila, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
J. Stephen Kowski.
Kristen Rose Landon.
Kara Elizabeth Large.
Dana Christine Larson.
Robert Joseph Lauer, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
Stephen James Llewellyn with honors.
Alexandria Michelle Lewis.
Christopher Rob Linger in absentia.
Jessica S. Lepaski.
Barry Rachel London.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his grandfather, Al Lopez, a 1970 graduate of the College of Law. Benjamin George Lopez with honors.
Deanna Daniela Lott.
Ty Anita Lowry.
Alexander Scott Lyle.
Carolyn Janelle Menka, Certificate of Concentration in Social Justice Advocacy.
Lauren Alexandra Maestro.
Alejandro Mateos.
Natalie Louise McEwen.
Medissa Memick with honors.
Danielle Leah Marola with honors program.
Daniel Kent Miles with honors.
Sean L. Miles.
Chelsea Elizabeth Miller in absentia.
Kayla Marie Minton.
Mallory Ann Moretti.
Daniel J. Morgan in absentia.
Nicole Marie Morris with honors.
William Broward Morris.
Joshua Lane Moses.
Matthew Joseph Middich.
John Thomas Nelson.
Sarah Christine Nelson.
Kristen Locio O'Donnell.
Andrew E. Oates.
Carolyn and Jenny Pacheco.
Randall Lee Page, Jr.
Laura Ashley Panaggio with honors.
Andrew Roland Pardone, JD, MBA.
Tabitha Park.
Lee Miriam Parker.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his father, Butch Paul, a former chair of the Board of Trustees of Stetson University. Harlan George Paul.
Hold that up.
George Peter Pavlodaki, Jr.
Jonathan Tyler Payne, JD, MBA.
Felicia D.C. Pearson, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Matthew Lee Peeler.
Ashley Anne-Marie Petefish, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Dustin W. Phelps, JD, MBA.
Mishu Finellis.
Alyssa M. Pickles.
Brandy Nicole Ficus.
Andres Alejandro Pino.
Michael Anthony Pipitone.
Christopher Roy Pollard.
Nicole Janine Pote, Certificate of Concentration in Environmental Law.
Victoria Posada.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her parents, Lou Pratz, Chair of the Board of Trustees, and Catherine Pratz, both 1981 graduates of the College of Law, and her sister, Jessica Pratz, a 2014 graduate of the College of Law, Jacqueline M. Pratz with honors.
Robert Andrew Quick with honors.
Catherine Ann Rand with honors, honors program.
Chelsea Elizabeth Ratcliffe.
Julie Annette Redkay.
Lindsay Marie Renard.
Sean Richardson, Certificate of Concentration in International Law.
Alex Wesley Rigsby.
Christina Rose Roberts.
Michael Brandon Robinson, with honors, Certificate of Concentration in Elder Law.
Christine Courtney Rousey, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Kevin Michael Ryan, in absentia.
Carolina Savreja, with honors, honors program.
Trevor Ryan Sammons.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her sister, Trina Sams, a 2014 graduate of the College of Law, Catherine Jane Sams.
Anthony E. Zerini.
Ashley M. Schachter, with honors.
Mitchell Adam Shermer.
Stephen Frederick Schwartz, with honors.
Lindsay Olivia Schwartz.
Nicholas Lynn Sellers, with honors.
Philip Robert Selachanu.
Hannah Margarita Simonson.
Jocelyn K. Skipper, JDMBA, Certificate of Concentration in Elder Law.
Andronette Sullivan.
Heather L. Swango.
Alexandra Tipton Madison Taylor.
Christopher Eves Thibodeau, with honors.
Evan Thompson, with honors.
Jennifer Michelle Tyndall, Certificate of Concentration in Elder Law.
Scott Donald Tolliver, with honors, honors program, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by his mother, Patricia Toops, a 2009 graduate of Stetson University and Assistant Director for Alumni Relations at the College of Law, Bishop Leonard Toops.
Malena Ann Tryon, with honors.
Andrew Garrett Tuttle, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Hannah Marie Tyson, with honors.
Ryan Michael Urick. with honors.
Jack William Vasileros.
Christina Renee Nicole Vicari, Certificate of Concentration in Advocacy.
Holly C. Wares.
Josie Adele Warren.
Davis Ronald Watson III.
Jacqueline D. Watson, Certificate of Concentration in International Law.
Rebecca Adams Watts.
Brianna Catherine Welsh.
Christopher David Wenmark.
James Corey Wilkinson.
The diploma for our next graduate will be presented by her grandfather, Robert McManus, a 1965 graduate of the College of Law. Danielle Johanna Wilson with honors. Certificate of Concentration in Elder Law. Wow.
Farrell Elaine Wiltermood.
Nicholas Timothy Wise.
David Robert Wright with honors program.
Angelica Yepen.
Alexander J. Zoll with honors program.
Graduates, Stetson is not just a law school, but a community that is dedicated to excellence, including our students, our faculty, and our families. And all have helped to reach this wonderful day. Our faculty, they serve as teachers, mentors, friends. They demonstrate the values of leadership and of service, and they are an inspiration to all of us. Will our faculty please stand so we can acknowledge their fantastic work? To our students, Stetson University College of Law was founded in 1900, and we know that you will all become leaders that will transform society, are committed to the rule of law, and will represent the values of our law school as well as our profession. Today we celebrate you, and from today forward, we are proud to call you graduates and alumni of Stetson University College of Law. So students, please stand one more time so we can acknowledge you as the class of 2015. And finally, families, supporters, and friends, you are there when our students, your son, your daughter, your husband, your wife, your partner, your mom, your dad, your brother, your sister, your aunt, your uncle, and your grandchildren needed you most. So graduates, let's stand one more time and say thank you to all of those who helped you become graduates of Stetson University. Thank you to our students. Congratulations to all. There is a reception in the Great Hall following our program. We ask that you remain in your seats for the recessional. Thank you and have a wonderful day.